Hi.
Hey, friends. Welcome back.
Monday
Night
Live.
That's right. That's right. You finally made it. Even if you're watching on the replay, we're glad to have you. We're going to try to answer a ton of questions in this video. So just hang out and listen. You might learn something.
We do this every Monday.
Every Monday?
As long as, everything's good.
If
the internet's
don't
working.
Rise.
And so, if you are interested in watching this on the replay and next week you want to catch the live, we're going to be here.
That's
7
right.
Central Standard Time every Monday night.
Every Monday night.
Yeah. So we just got back from Omaha.
Keto Omaha 2021.
Yeah, we had a good time. It was exhausting. We took the baby, who is 21 months old. He did really, really well, but obviously traveling with a toddler is exhausting, and we had layovers. So our trip there was about 6 hours. Our trip back was more than 6 hours because we had delays and layovers and things, but he did really well, I think.
Yeah, he did great going, and at the conference, he was so gregarious and so friendly. I think he hugged everybody there. He was going through a shy stage there for a minute.
Yeah.
But he got over that. But he didn't meet someone who wasn't a friend in Omaha. It was really cool. On the way home, the last leg of the flight, he had a little come apart. Yeah. And but other than that, he did great.
We met a lot of wonderful people. Maybe some of you that are watching tonight, great speakers as usual. Most of these summits have the best names in the book. One in particular.
Hey, Alex, how's it going?
I think you can buy the summit package. Like if you didn't go, I think
they're going to package it up and it will be available. Okay. So it'll be like you're there, but you're on your couch at home. Now, we've got, first of all, tell us where you're watching from in the world. What city, what state, what country? Yeah. I want to see where you guys are from.
Now that some of you are hopping on here, we do want to talk about something kind of serious for a minute. Most of you know, because it's been on the news, that the county right next to us was devastated by a flood. Friends of ours were seriously affected. We do have a link in the description if any of you want to make donations. We've obviously made donations, and obviously it's not required or anything like that. But if you do feel like you would like to give a donation directly to Humphreys County, the link is in the description, both on Facebook and on YouTube. And also any super chats that we receive tonight will be donated as well.
Absolutely. We lost a wonderful friend, Mark Key. He was a lovely man. And several other friends were injured. And the entire county, the infrastructure, the economy is destroyed. So if you've got a buck or two, there's a link in the show notes that you can donate straight to the Humphreys County United Way. And they have promised to use every penny for Humphrey County to help people recover and start to rebuild.
It was one of the worst floods ever recorded.
Yeah, it's the record rainfall in Tennessee ever. 17 inches in just a few hours. And it devastated the entire city of Waverly, and then also the tiny city of New Johnsonville was pretty much destroyed. So
there are still many people missing. A lot of people lost their lives, children, babies. It was for sure one of the biggest tragedies in this area that's ever happened. But we just wanted to mention that. And
if you can help out, there's a link in the show notes. Send a buck or two their way because they need it.
Really appreciate anybody who shows some love to that community. Well, we're going to get back to it, answer some questions for you guys tonight. But we just felt really like we needed to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you for any help that you can give. And like NEISHA said, any super chats or super stickers we get tonight, we're going to donate 100% of that to the recovery in Humphreys County.
Okay. Well, let's see here. We got some questions.
All right. Here we go.
Grow with the Flow says, hey, started carnivore and now I can smell a rose from across the street. What's up with that? Hashtag super smell.
There are probably multiple reasons why your sense of smell has improved on a carnivore diet. I also hear this from people on a keto diet as well. Most of us have just a baseline inflammation in our sinuses and our nasal passages when we're eating crap, because it's very inflammatory. It causes inflammation all over your body. But the nose, especially for me, when I was eating the standard American junk crap, I could not smell anything. There could be a dead body in the next room, and I would be the last one to know, because I could smell nothing whatsoever, except for Morganberry's feet. That was about the only thing that I could smell. But as I have transitioned to paleo, then to low carb, then to keto, then to carnivore, my sense of smell is still not as good as some people's sense of smell, but it's way better than it used to be. I think I wouldn't be surprised if the olfactory regions in your brain actually improve and become more sensitive to smells. And it's actually a good thing. If you think about it, our ancestors had to be able to smell very acutely, because it could be a matter of life and death. So yeah, many people on carnivore and keto have commented that their sense of smell has returned.
Thank you guys so much for the super stickers already. Several people are saying, yeah, my sense of smell.
Yep. Anybody? And this is a great time to put it in the comments, because people don't believe that kind of stuff. If you're like, oh, I started this diet and my smell returned, they're like, what? That's dumb. That's not possible. But when you're eating a proper human diet, your body functions like it's supposed to. And things that you never thought you would be able to do again, or smell again, or taste again, or feel again, they suddenly start to come back. It's almost like a superpower sometimes for some of us.
Trap says, excuse me. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in June. My A1C was 9.1. It is now 6.7, and my doctor prescribed me Metformin. Why would he prescribe this for me?
So, Trap Gamer, you're improved. There's no doubt, but your A1C is not normal yet. The Metformin, I agree with your doctor in this situation. It will help you to have a more normal blood sugar and a more normal insulin level as you continue to improve your diet and eat lower and lower carbohydrates in your daily diet, because that's what's ultimately going to fix your diabetes and now your prediabetes. The metformin is not going to fix it, but it is going to be a little helper until you have fixed this yourself. So once you have a normal A1C, so it's 5.6 or lower, then you can talk to your doctor about stopping the metformin. But I think it's fine to keep taking it right now if you're not having any side effects from it. Make sure make sure you're getting plenty of B12, because metformin can deplete your B12.
Ancestral Keto Coach says, I have a client with IBS and constipation. They are mostly carnivore. Should I up his fat?
Probably. That'd be a great experiment, Ancestral Keto Coach. Some people, the constipation completely dissipates when they add animal fat, more animal fat, butter, lard, beef tallow. The vast majority of people on carnivore don't have constipation whatsoever. Talk to your client and make sure that he or she's truly having constipation, and that he or she's not just pooping less, because that's very common on carnivore. You just don't poop as much. And a lot of people, in their minds, that means they're constipated when they're really not.
Michelle says, would you recommend keto or carnivore for someone with Miyoshi Myopathy?
Oh, the dysphagia. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. They absolutely are going to benefit from a proper human diet. If anyone with any medical condition converts from the standard American crap, junk, chemical factory made diet to eating a proper human diet that's filled with fatty meat or fatty meat and veg, it's going to help their body to fight whatever that they've been, they're stuck with. It's going to help them fight that.
Chris says, hello, Dr. Berry. My mom is skinny and she's afraid of losing too much weight on keto. Do you have any recommendations?
One of our good friends at the Keto Summit in Omaha, Dr. Robert Sivis, said something, and I completely agree with him about keto. Now, listen up. This is important. Keto is not a weight loss diet. Now, the vast majority of people come to keto to lose weight, because it will help you to lose weight if you're holding unhealthy, unnecessary extra weight. But it is not a weight loss diet. If someone is at their ideal body weight, or indeed they're below their ideal body weight, they'll actually gain weight with keto. We've seen this multiple times in people who are suffering from severe anemia, who are suffering from type 1 diabetes, who are suffering from anorexia and other eating disorders. It actually, they gain weight. They put on muscle, they increase their bone density, therefore their bone weight. They increase their connective tissue strength, therefore increasing their weight. This has happened multiple times. So if someone's underweight, they can absolutely still gain all the benefits from a proper human diet, but it's not going to just make them keep losing weight until they dry up and blow away.
Set says, hey guys, I'm keto, leaning towards carnivore and OMAD, regularly fasting, and recently added a little cheese daily after a while of not eating much, and suddenly I'm super itchy. Can cheese cause this? Yeah,
the protein in any dairy product, some of us are, you can say allergic to, you can say sensitive to, or you can say we react to it. And this happens to some people. It's not fair because cheese is wonderful and I love it. But yeah, some people will start to gain weight if they eat too much cheese. Some people will start to have skin issues, others gut issues, others joint issues, some even mental issues. And so, yeah, I think that the cheese may not be your friend.
Jen says, I assume the discoloration in my armpits because I'm insulin resistant. I now have a normal A1C. Will the color ever return to normal?
Yeah, Jen, this is called acanthosis nigricans, and it is absolutely was caused by your hyperinsulinemia and your prediabetes or type 2, if you had those or not. But it looks like it's the hyperinsulinemia that causes acanthosis nigricans. It will return to normal, but it's not going to return to normal as quickly as your blood sugar and your A1C. But it usually takes months and months, sometimes up to a year, for that discoloration to go away, because the skin cells that you already have, they have to be replaced by new, healthier skin cells that won't produce that pigment. And so it is going to, and if you take a picture now and then a picture 3 months from now, you'll be able to see a noticeable difference, but it may take up to a year before it goes back to normal, but it will.
Wynette, thanks so much for the super chat.
Yeah, let me say again, guys, any super chat or super stickers we get tonight on YouTube are going to go 100% to the victims of the flooding in Humphreys County, including the friends and family that we knew personally who were in this tragedy.
She says, praying for the flood victims. I have a question. I saw a post where there is a new guilt supplement that erases carbs. How can a company claim a supplement prevents the absorption of carbs? Yeah,
some of the there are some products out there that actually do this. There's actually one or two prescription medications that prevents your gut from absorbing sugars, carbs. But they always have, if they actually work, you're going to have disaster pants, because all that sugar, the glucose and fructose and galactose staying in your gut, that's going to attract water. And when you get too much water in your large intestine, you know what you have? Diarrhea, right? And so if this product actually works, you'll have chronic diarrhea. The only way to fix a high carb diet is to stop eating it. There is no shortcut where you can have all the cake and pie you want and still be healthy and uninflamed. Without side effects, it just doesn't work that way.
Trap Gamer says, thanks for all you do. This Trap Gamer again.
Yeah.
The keto diet has helped me bring my A1C down and has my blood levels from 90 to 110. So when I get to 5.4 A1C, am I good?
Yeah, if you're 5.6 or under, Trap Gamer, you're going to be able to not need the metformin anymore. But obviously, you're going to talk to your doctor before you stop it.
LD says, can keto help with TMJ? Mine is related to ear spasms and sensitivity to sound. Yeah, I'm actually working on the research for a YouTube video about TMJ and keto right now. TMJ syndrome, which is temporomandibular joint syndrome. It's chronic pain, chronic clicking in the joint of the jaw. And sometimes it has other symptoms that go along with it. Sometimes other things are misdiagnosed as TMJ. I had multiple patients in the clinic that would come to see me faithfully every 3 months, and I would put a little tiny steroid injection. They'd open their mouth, and I would put that tiny needle right in there. And anybody that'll let you put a needle right there, they're in pain.
and they're suffering. And so, yeah, TMJ sucks. And we've had multiple people reach out to us and say their TMJ symptoms are completely gone on fatty meat, heavy keto, or carnivore. In fact, if anybody's listening who used to have TMJ and you're like, oh, yeah, I don't have that anymore since I'm in keto, put in the comments. But I'm working on a YouTube video about it. Yes, I think that it definitely has an effect.
Miss Ann says, I saw your video on skin changes. I have a tattoo with red ink. After about 6 months on keto, it started to get irritated. Is that because of the skin changes from keto?
You're building so many new healthy skin cells, and also your macrophages, which are a white blood cell that look for foreign bodies, foreign things, foreign antigens, foreign bacteria in your skin. They're like, what is this? This is not supposed to be here. So yeah, your tattoo may actually fade. We've had a couple of people mention that their tattoos are fading since they've been keto carnivore. All you tattoo lovers out there, don't freak out. I don't think this is a common thing, but that's probably why you're having that irritation.
Thank you, Mitzi. Ancestral Keto Coach says, I've seen many people taking high doses of D3 with K2, somewhere around 20K international units, thinking this will boost their immune system. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. If you're just taking vitamin D3 and vitamin K2 and you're not eating a proper human diet, then it might help a tiny bit if you're deficient in B12 in vitamin D. But that's not the answer. That of all the hundreds of supplement things that we've seen this guru and that guru proclaim, I think vitamin D3 is vital for optimal human function, and vitamin K2 as well. But just to think, I'm going to take those two and you'll make me impervious to any virus, that's obviously short-sighted and sophomoric.
Heather recently had labs done and had elevated BUN creatinine level at 26 and low alkaline phosphate level at 34. What should I ask my doctor about labs?
Yeah, almost invariably, if you have an elevated BUN to creatinine ratio, that just means that you were a little underhydrated when you had your labs drawn. Doctors use the BUN to creatinine ratio as a marker of hydration status. And so if your creatinine was normal, but your BUN to creatinine ratio was high, you just hadn't drank enough water before you had your labs drawn. It's nothing to worry about. What was the other test? There's one more thing.
Creatinine and then
low alk phos.
Yeah.
Actually, I see that quite a bit in people on keto and carnivore. I'm not sure if the alkaline phosphatase level was the normal range was set when they checked the blood of 200 people eating a standard American diet. And so they got a falsely high normal range, but a lot of people with keto and carnivore have just under the normal alkaline phosphatase. I don't think it's anything to worry about at all.
Planet Molly says, I fast for 24 hours every other day and sometimes 72 to 98 more than 4 times a year. No health issues before or after, but is it safe to do this, to live this way? I like it, but I just want to know, is it safe?
Yeah, as long as when you do eat, you know you're eating a nutrient-dense diet full of all the amino acids, fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals you need. I think it's perfectly safe and fine. If you enjoy it, I don't think there's any danger at all. Human beings have been fasting for millions of years. This is not a new fad thing. This is a very ancient practice that humans have done for a long, long, long time.
Terry Bond says, thoughts on hyaluronic acid versus PRP shots for orthostatic arthritis in knees?
Yeah, some people get temporary relief with hyaluronic acid injections. They're very expensive, but I would say 80% of my patients would go to the orthopedic surgeon, get the hyaluronic acid, and they're like, I can't tell it helped at all. I'd say 8 out of 10 on average, maybe 7 out of 10, maybe 3 out of 10 got relief for a little while, but I don't remember anybody saying, oh man, that cured my arthritis. But PRP, I've had multiple patients say, man, my knee arthritis is 90% better. It just almost doesn't bother me anymore. I'm not even going to get a knee replacement. I'm just going to get PRP once or twice a year from now on. And because you're actually putting the active cells that regenerate tissue inside the joint. And I think it's a very powerful technology. More research needs to be done in more clinical practice, but I think in 20 years we'll all agree that PRP injections into a joint that's arthritic is standard of care.
Carnivore. Just started Carnivore a week ago. Family thinks I'm crazy. I can't wait to show them all in a couple of months when I'm looking great.
That's right. That's right. You're going to lead by example.
Thank you guys again. Thank you so much. You all are sending a ton of super chats. That's
Yes, thank you so much
kind.
for that.
We love this keto community.
Yeah.
You never ever turn an eye to anybody who needs help. We've seen that firsthand. So we had no doubt, but it's always just
touches your heart to see it in action. Yeah. When the clinic fire happened, one of our good friends in the keto community said, I'm going to start a GoFundMe for you guys. And I was like, hell no, do not do that. We'll be fine. I don't need that. And they snuck around behind my back and did it anyway and raised a lot of money for us. And I think there's something about eating the proper diet and feeling better and getting uninflamed and getting your brain back 100%, that it just makes you more empathetic. It makes you more charitable. It makes you love humanity again.
I just think it's good people.
Good people. I think it attracts good people. I totally believe that.
Christina says keto for 1.5 years, off diabetes medication, but then diagnosed with Behcet's disease 2 years ago on Otezla and
colchicine.
Okay. Still deal with a lot of pain in my joints. Last week I was diagnosed with chronic lymphocytic leukemia,
CLL. Yeah. So you've got a couple of dastardly things going on there. Eating a proper human diet is going to help your body battle these things. It's going to help you feel the best you can feel in this situation. You need to follow your doctor's recommendations on the CLL and on the Behcet's, but you also need to be eating a proper human diet.
Jean-Sebastian says, hello, Dr. Berry. I eat eggs and bacon for breakfast. Can I also have bulletproof coffee along with my meal?
Absolutely.
Also, can I switch the MCT for olive oil in my bulletproof coffee?
Absolutely, you can. Or you could put butter in your bulletproof coffee. You should try it. It is amazing. And since you're going to have your coffee with your meal, you could even put a raw egg in it. NEISHA's got a video on her channel. It's delicious. It's frothy. It's foamy. It's really good. It does not taste like an egg at all.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
I was super skeptical about it, but
really tasty.
It's good. Shayla also has Behcet's disease and psoriasis, and she's on day 2 of Carnivore.
Excellent.
I pray this will work for me. Thanks for all you do. Do you suggest I do beef, salt, and water only? Where should I start?
If you some people will hear beef, salt, and water, and they're like, that's torture. But if you're like, I'm okay with that, then yeah, I would definitely do that for 30, 60, or 90 days. And then you can start adding other meats. You can add eggs. You can add other carnivore-friendly things back in. I don't think that a proper human diet is going to reverse your Behcet's, but your psoriasis is probably going to get 90, 95% better. Some people report it goes completely away. Some people say I still have a tiny patch on my leg or on my elbow, but otherwise it's completely cleared. That's what you can expect from the psoriasis if thousands of people's anecdotal reports are true. But the Behcet's, you may be stuck with the medication for that.
Etienne says, why does WebMD advise the opposite of Ketovore for gallbladder health? They say high fat and cholesterol makes stones. Yeah. My family has a history of stones. I am Ketovore, and my family is healthier now that we eat this way.
100%. So WebMD, they're very confused about a lot of things. But the reason they say that is because if you have pre-existing gallstones or pre-existing sludge or pre-existing gallbladder dysfunction, and you eat a fat-filled keto meal, you're going to have gallbladder pain. And so what they're doing is they're equating the symptom, which is gallbladder pain, with the condition, which is you have a dysfunctional gallbladder that needs to heal and get better by you eating a proper human diet that's full of good, healthy animal fats. They're just trying to prevent you from having symptoms, but that's not what causes gallstones. That's ridiculous.
Kaylee says, I'm pregnant, and the doctor said that I need to get off keto or I could lose the baby because of losing weight and not gaining at 12 weeks pregnant. Is she full of beans? Sorry for the loss of the flood. Hope that this super chat helps a little bit.
Yes, thank you so much for that, Kelly. No, your doctor's not full of beans. She's full of shit. Okay, let's just be blunt here. So your doctor's telling you that a diet,
because she's lost weight and not gained at 12 weeks pregnant.
Right, yes. But you're eating a diet that's full of meat and vegetables. That is the proper human diet. How could that be bad for your baby? Now, 2 things I want to make sure you're doing is that you don't need to be doing any intermittent fasting right now. You need to be eating until you're comfortably stuffed. If you need 2 meals a day, 3 meals a day, or even 4 meals a day, you need to eat them because you have to get enough nutrition in your body to build that baby. But the doctor's operating under two false assumptions. So number one, they believe still, like we talked about earlier, that keto is a weight loss diet. It's not. It's the proper human diet. Number two, she's operating under the assumption that a ketogenic diet is somehow nutrient deficient, which is just ignorant. It's just ignorant. That tells me that doctor's never looked up how many vitamins and minerals are in a ribeye, how many vitamins and minerals are in ground beef, how many vitamins and minerals are in chicken liver. That doctor has no idea. They think you need lots of fruits and veg, or you just won't have the nutrition.
Also, I want to point out that she said that she's only worried about your weight, but if she didn't mention that the baby's growth is under, then you should mention that. Like, is the baby growing appropriately?
Right,
Her
exactly.
answer is obviously going to be yes, because she didn't say the baby isn't growing.
Exactly.
Because the baby is getting proper nutrition because you're eating whole foods and you're not eating processed crap. So it's interesting to me that she didn't say, oh, the baby looks beautiful.
It's an irrational fear on your doctor's part. And
Right.
Nisha's exactly right. Next time she puts the tape on your belly when you go for an appointment, say, how's the baby growing? Is the baby growing good? And obviously, Nisha's right. If the baby wasn't growing good, she would already be saying, look, the baby's not growing. This keto is killing you and your baby. She didn't say that. Therefore, obviously, the baby's growing fine.
She's concerned because you haven't gained a bunch of weight.
Right. Because that's what's normal.
That's not what's
in America is to
important.
gain a lot of weight when you're pregnant.
With a pregnancy, the importance is the baby growing appropriately? Is she measuring, or he or she, is she measuring at the appropriate weeks and, showing all the signs of a healthy intrauterine growth?
Exactly.
Mommy does keto. Hey, girl. Thank you for setting a great example for health and humanity. My father has frontotemporal dementia. Is there any hope that keto will slow the progression? That's
a tough one. Maybe. I've never seen any research on frontal dementia and hyperinsulinemia or insulin resistance or hyperglycemia, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if he has better function, fewer symptoms, and a slowed progression by eating a proper human diet full of lots of good, healthy fats. His brain is made of fat, and his brain needs fat daily in order to function properly. So I can't think of another diet I would recommend you give him.
Sherry says, I'm a truck driver.
Hey, Sherry.
Been following Dr. Berry for about 5 weeks, and I'm so proud of myself. I passed the DOT physical without issues. Thank you for so much. I do blood work in September, and I can't wait.
Excellent.
And that I love hearing people say, I can't wait to get my blood work done.
Please share your results with us when you get it back. And then also, I got a question for you. When a truck driver's on the interstate and like a station wagon goes by with a bunch of kids in the back, and the kids are all like, does that annoy you, or do you think that's cute? Because I was that kid, and I was the kid that would get mad at you and like throw a bottle at you if you didn't blow your horn. No, I never did that, but I thought about it. But like, did you do that when you were a kid?
Did I do this? Every time.
Every single time. Like a truck driver just needs a button to push the horn, the kid button. Does that annoy truck drivers, or do you guys think it's funny?
They just ignore you if they don't like it.
I always wondered.
They usually.
If I was a truck driver, I'd be like, those damn kids.
It just made my day. I was like, yes.
I'm going to break my horn.
You know? Enrique says TSH 1.6, FT3, 3.2, free T4 1.5, TG antibodies 5, TPO antibodies 1. Testosterone 200. I am concerned about the antibodies, but my naturopath says it's mild and testosterone is way more important. Is this true?
In your case, probably, Enrique, that's true. You need to eat a proper human diet. You need to try to get those antibodies back down to normal. Now, see, the problem is if you're having hypothyroid symptoms, or you're having low T symptoms, because they're virtually exactly the same with just a few differences. Fatigue, feel good, skin, hair, all the stuff, weight gain. And so I would say eat a proper human diet to protect your thyroid. Get your your testosterone optimized. And then if you're like, boom, I feel amazing, I feel great, then that slight elevation in the antibodies is currently not a big deal for you. But if you get your testosterone optimized and you're like, I still feel pretty crappy, then you need to probably find a doctor who's more knowledgeable. about the thyroid.
Several truck drivers in the comments saying that they like it. And
They like it?
fun.
Okay. Yeah, it would be fun for a while, but at the 800th kid that day, you'd be like,
I don't know. They're probably a little bored. I'll get bored. I don't know.
I'll be listening to a book on tape.
I could never.
And watching a YouTube video.
No.
And typing I'll be doing lots of stuff. I could never be a truck driver.
Thanks, Fully Laden Swallow. Thank you. Hey, Kyle. Praying for you in Tennessee.
Thank you, Kyle.
Are frozen blueberries okay to have as a refreshing treat, or are they too high carb?
Just count your carbs, Kyle. If you've got some carbs, if you're doing under 20 total a day, and you're like, man, I could really go for some blueberries, just use your carbs for that. I think it's totally fine. Blueberries they're pretty nutrient dense as far as plant foods go. Now, if you compare blueberries to chicken liver or beef liver, no, that's not nutrient dense. But compared to lettuce, oh, heck yeah, I'd much rather you eat blueberries.
Edward says he listens to your videos while he's driving.
There you go. See, that I would have YouTube on all day long if I was a truck driver.
Truck drivers got to be good multitaskers.
Yep.
Diego says, as someone who lifts weights every day, I'm concerned about the test and free test levels dropping being on keto carnivore and SHBG levels not being optimal.
Yeah, Diego, we haven't seen that. The vast majority of people on a carnivore diet report that their testosterone, their free testosterone, and their sex hormone binding globulin levels are fine. And more importantly, I think, because, we worry about labs, but ultimately we worry about the patient. How does the patient feel? How do they look? How strong are they? Carnivores are strong, okay? Their testosterone's fine.
Alan says, I'm not hungry now, eating fat and protein. I used to eat 5 to 6 times a day. I've lost 50 pounds of body fat. Cheers.
Yep. Who out there eating a standard American diet, you're sick and tired of eating 5 or 6 times a day? How much extra time would you have in the day if you could just eat twice, 2 good meals and eat to your stuff? And that was it. That's all you did all day. That's how NEISHA and I live our lives.
What?
Every day. We eat 2 big meals a day. Sometimes she'll have a third. Sometimes she won't. Sometimes I'll have 1 a day. Sometimes 2. Depends on how I feel. But that's it. I've got so much more time to devote to my work, to my calling, to my farm, because I'm not having to eat every 2 hours. It's kind of a superpower.
Tommy says, just diagnosed with diabetes, A1C 11, fasting glucose 262. Metformin twice a day. I have fatty liver as well. Doc says low fat meat and veg. Where is my energy coming from? Should I start out with fat lower? Yeah.
So Tommy, you need to eat a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet. I've got lots of videos on my YouTube channel about how to do this. You can reverse your type 2 diabetes within 3 to 12 months. It'll be gone. Okay. If you listen to your doctor's nutrition advice, you'll have type 2 diabetes for the rest of your life. And I don't want that for you. I want you to reverse your type 2 diabetes. And then you can tell your friends over coffee, I used to have type 2 diabetes, but I reversed it. And then they're like, how'd you do that? You can say, check out Dr. Berry. That's how you do it. Okay.
This is a great comment. I love this. Hey, Chad. Chad says, my wife has lost 94 pounds with keto because of you guys. And she is a smoke show.
Smoke show.
P.S. I've lost like 70 pounds. Thank you. Good job, Chad.
There's a lot of guys.
Your wife a smoke show.
There's a lot of guys singing, I wish I could have Chad's girl. She's hot as. Yeah, that's what happens when you eat a proper human diet.
Congratulations.
Smoke show.
I love couples who do this together.
Yes.
You're lucky to have a wife who's supportive of you and you of her. Like, well done.
Now, let me warn all you couples. If you're going to do keto or carnivore together, the husband is going to lose weight faster than the wife. That's just going to happen. It's not his fault. And it's not your problem. It's fine. Just roll with it. Your weight will come off too. Talking to these women, your weight's going to come off too. It just won't come off as fast as his. It's absolutely not fair, but I did not design the system. Don't blame me.
Active, Fit, and Healthy says my BUN creatinine ratio is 24, high, as well as my total cholesterol 233. After starting keto, triglycerides are 60, HDL 67. LDL was 156. Should I be worried?
So your triglycerides are splendid. Your HDL is amazing. Your BUN creatinine ratio is high because you didn't drink enough water the morning of the blood draw. That's nothing to worry about at all. I don't really care what your total cholesterol is. Your body sets that where it needs to be for your optimal health. Your LDL cholesterol might be a tiny risk factor for heart attack, But having normal triglycerides, beautiful triglycerides actually, and a beautiful HDL, that's going to cancel any tiny risk that the LDL might offer. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing. How do you feel? I bet you feel good.
Debbie says, does potassium affect your blood pressure? Mine has been up since I broke my leg. I started lisinopril and it said avoid potassium. Is this a myth like salt?
No, potassium, lisinopril can actually affect your potassium excretion and absorption. So you need to listen to that, but you still got to have enough potassium, but you just don't want to be overdoing it with a potassium supplement. If you're using something like Keto Chow's Electrolyte Drops or Relight's Electrolyte Powders, you're going to get enough potassium, but you're probably not going to get too much. The way you'll know is just pop into your doctor's office once a month and get a potassium change. And that way you know you're keeping it up where it needs to go without it going too low or too high. Was there another part to that question? I thought there was one other thing I was going to.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Is that a myth about?
Yeah, that's not a myth. Lisinopril can affect your potassium, but you still need potassium. But the best advice is just to watch my video about potassium-rich foods and eat those every day, and don't take a potassium supplement.
Jay says, Dr. Berry, a study in 1993 in Brazil, NIH published, showed that CBD reduces cortisol release without typical side effects via SSRIs. Would CBD be something that could help those fasting to counter insomnia?
100%, Jay. If anybody out there is considering starting an SSRI like Prozac, Paxil, Lexapro, Zoloft, any of those drugs, please try good quality CBD oil first for depression, for anxiety, for generalized anxiety, for social anxiety. Please try a good quality CBD before you start a SSRI. And then also, I think for some people, CBD works great for insomnia.
Mama says, thanks for the super chat. Hubby and I started Keto Carnivore in mid-May, down 31 pounds.
Yes.
Last week, my sister had her 12th kidney stone, and I had my first. Doctors speculating oxalates are byproduct of protein consumption. Is there research to support this?
No. Vegetables have about 100 times as much oxalates as meat. A lot of people, when they start a carnivore diet, they'll go through a period of oxalate dumping where you're getting rid of all the excess oxalate you built up in your body over the decades from eating a plant-based diet, basically. So, yeah, sometimes when you first start carnivore, you'll have a kidney stone, but that should be the last one you ever had. You should never have another one, but your sister's going to keep having them unless she's keto carnivore as well.
Pamela. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. That's going to help the people in Humphreys County. Let me say again, for those of you who joined late, every super chat and super sticker we get tonight, 100% of that is going to go to the victims of the Humphreys County flood here in Tennessee. We lost a wonderful friend, and several other friends were injured. And how many? We've lost how many souls?
At least 30.
Yeah, there's probably going to be around 30 people who lost their life in this terrible flash flood. So if you can help, please help. There's also a link in the show notes.
If you want to send a direct donation.
You can give it straight to the Humphreys County United Way. United Way. You can give, and I looked it up before we started, you can give $1. If that's all you can afford, give $1 because that's going to help.
Also, it looks like you guys are really giving tonight. We'll match whatever we raise tonight.
Want to match?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever we raise.
The total is, we'll match that.
And we'll post it, how much we got, and then we'll match it, and we'll write them a check. Yeah. Oh, hey, Granny Berry's watching.
Hey, Granny.
My granny's 91 years old. She lives in Alabama now.
She wouldn't say she was. Would she say she's 91? Every now and then I'll say, she'll say, well, I'm only 70.
No, she doesn't lie about it. But she loves it when people say, well, you don't look 91. She says, I don't act it either. That's her standard.
She don't.
Yeah. So say hi to Granny Berry if you don't mind. She loves that.
John says again, hey, welcome back again. Hey, Dr. Berry, for its health benefits, I'm considering doing a weekly 36-hour water fast. Is that an effective fasting protocol?
Yeah, that's if you enjoy it and it's easy for you, 100%. You're going to increase your rate of autophagy, replacing old cells with new healthy cells. Hundreds of health benefits from doing that kind of fast. Now, when your body fat percentage gets down to normal, then you may not need to do that anymore. But if you've got extra body fat stored, fast away, fast away.
Miss Donna says, what effect will carnivore have on bipolar disorder? Good question.
We actually have friends in the carnivore community who used to suffer from disabling bipolar disorder. I mean, so severe they couldn't even work. They could barely interact with their family. On a carnivore diet, they are stable with no medication. We've heard this multiple times. And I don't think we talk about the mental health part of this enough.
I do.
I don't. I feel like I don't talk about the mental health part of this.
I talk about it a lot.
So many thousands of people have reached out to NEISHA and I. And like, I used to have such severe depression, anxiety, ADD, bipolar, OCD, all these things. And it's so much better now. I'm still an anxious person, or I'm still blue some days.
Yeah, but a lot of people have gotten off of their medications under a physician's
with the help of their physician. That's right.
Because you can't just come off of those medications. But
exactly,
it is possible for some people.
Exactly.
Benjamin, this is a really great question. Is there such a thing as a keto-friendly residency program for people with eating disorders like orthorexia, binge eating, the excessive exercise, or bulimia? Not that I know of.
I don't know of one, Benjamin. Does anybody listening, do you know of a like an inpatient program for orthorexic, binge eating, eating disorders?
Yeah, I would love to know.
That's low carb, at least low carb friendly. If not keto or carnivore friendly. Yeah. If you do, please put it in the comments.
Because, I mean, for someone who is like borderline fixing to have a heart attack because of anorexia, like healthy carbs, I think would be fine.
Absolutely.
But I would love to know that. All right, let's see here. Let's get another question. Thank you guys so much. Sam says, I've started keto recently to help with a few things, including elevated AST and ALT levels in blood work since I was a teenager. Are these markers dangerous?
Yeah, the markers, they're very dangerous. They're telling you that your liver's inflamed, that it's on the verge of being damaged, if not already damaged.
Since you were a teenager.
Yeah, you absolutely need to get.
I mean, assuming you're not a teenager anymore.
Yeah, you need to get rid of all the sugars, all the grains, and all the vegetable seed oils. You need to start a ketogenic diet tomorrow.
Dean
has a question.
If someone donated $20,000, yes.
If someone donates $20,000,
would you match that? Yes.
We'll match it. Yeah. We will match the total of the super chats and super stickers from tonight's live and give to the victims.
If anyone would donate, I would need to meet that person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys so much.
Good question, Dean.
Yeah, really great question.
Oh, yeah, here you go. Craig says, Dean, try and find out. I love it.
Kelly says normal thyroid blood panel, TSH is 15, TPO antibodies are greater than 900.
Yeah, so you don't have a normal thyroid panel.
Waiting on a follow-up appointment. Do I have Hashimoto's?
100%. You have Hashimoto's and you have severe hypothyroidism. Your TSH is way too high and your antibodies are sky high. You definitely have Hashimoto's and probably you have hypothyroidism from the Hashimoto's. You need to find a doctor who understands the thyroid. Go to the website called stopthethyroidmadness.com. Stopthethyroidmadness.com. They've got a list of doctors who understand the thyroid there. Also, you can call your local pharmacy and ask the pharmacist who prescribes desiccated thyroid in my area. Any doctor who prescribes desiccated thyroid is much more likely to understand the kind of care that you're going to need.
Sid says, I've had terrible butt acne my whole life. Will carnivore help with that?
100%. I've never talked to someone with severe acne in any part of their body, including the butt crack, that the acne didn't get better. Now, if the acne is just in your butt crack and not anywhere else, it's probably not acne. Okay, you probably got something else. You probably need to see your doctor and get properly diagnosed. And then you can eat a proper human diet to reverse whatever condition that you're diagnosed with.
Thank you, JP, so much. Thank you, Dawn and Lynn. I would thank everybody, but y'all are doing a good job tonight.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This is going to help.
Shayla says, I was hoping my Behcet's disease would take a hike by being carnivore. How come you say that I'll probably have to stay on my medications?
I said probably, right? That means there's a chance that you may not have to stay on your medications. You get me?
Habits of mine says, is keto good for vitiligo? Love your videos.
Joe Rogan, when he was eating his carnivore diet, he actually noticed, and he commented on air, that the pigment was getting smaller. He was actually starting to get more pigment at the edges of his vitiligo lesions. And we've
Rogan?
Really? He's got vitiligo, and we've actually had other people reach out and say that my vitiligo spots are much smaller when I eat a fatty meat heavy keto or a carnivore diet.
Kelly says, Ketovore here. I got my lab results today and they were great, except my protein level is too low. How can this be? I only eat protein and fat.
Yeah, that's probably not true. You may have had a severe protein deficiency from years and years, and it may take a few months to replace that. But if you're eating carnivore, you're going to fix that. You've either already fixed it or you're going to fix it soon. No worries.
Thank you, LB. Thank you, John. Thank you, Jay Francis. Thank you, Terry Bond.
Karen, colostrum is for babies. Okay, it is.
There's a thing though. People are talking about this.
It is a thing. So a lot of weightlifters do this. Bodybuilders do this. I have never seen any credible research that shows that there's any benefit for an adult human or a human over 4 or 5 years of age from consuming human colostrum or colostrum from any mammal species.
Yeah, some bodybuilders feel like there's growth hormone in there that's a natural human.
And if you're doing something that's very unnatural, like trying to be a professional bodybuilder, you may need unnatural supplements like colostrum. But no.
I don't think so. J&S Electronics say, I see so many obese people when I'm out. I would like to clue them in on the proper human diet.
No, I know.
I know most of them would be offended, but if I say nothing, they will continue to go down a path of slow death.
Let's have a conversation about this. And I want you guys to help us in this conversation in the comments. When we were in the airports, we were literally just watching people with type 2 diabetes. I saw a huge goiter. Huge goiter. I'm like, did you see that woman's goiter? We literally see this stuff. It's almost like a curse some days. Like, I don't want to see. I just want to be a normal human.
We evolved because we're healthcare professionals. Right. We would have seen this to begin with, but I feel like because more and more people are waking up to health and how it can be managed through nutrition, like your eyes are even more open to it than ours would be sometimes.
But you feel compelled almost. And you don't want to be some psycho evangelist, but at the same time, you're like, oh my God, that person is killing themselves. What if they just don't know? What if they're ready to know, but they just don't know? I'll tell you 2 options that I've had people tell me that don't sound too offensive. One guy made up business cards with like the step 1, step 2, step 3, and a couple of YouTube channels and a website, and he would just hand it out to people. Another person made a pamphlet of the same kind of information and just said, here, read this when you get home, and walked off. They didn't judge them. They weren't mean to them. They were just like, here, you might like this.
Thank you.
You bring mommy a flower?
Thank you, baby.
Oh, you want to do your gyroscope? Behcet loves this gyroscope. We have to do this every morning. It's tradition. As soon as we're off the live, baby, I'll do your gyroscope. This is a pretty flower you brought, mommy. Smell. Does it smell good? Yeah.
Hey, there's that baby.
Kind of funky.
You say hi?
There's that baby. Oh, Coralie says, is cod liver as nutritious or nutrient rich as beef liver? Yes. Any liver is nutrient dense, full of nutrition. They have different nutrition profiles, but any kind of liver, possum liver, skunk liver, raccoon liver, even fish liver, any fish liver. If you catch a big catfish, get the liver. If you shoot a deer, if you shoot a squirrel, a rabbit, get the liver. That is the most nutritious thing on the animal, 100%. Yes, he is. Oh, wait. Hey, little bee. John Kaufman says, hey, little bee. What's he saying?
I think he's saying catfish, but he's saying it backwards.
Catfish?
Fish cat. That's what he's
saying.
Fish
cat? Oh, he's talking about a fish cat. Yeah.
Corey says, I had my thyroid removed 15 years ago due to cancer. What is undesiccated? You were talking about it. I'm on levothyroxine. Yeah, so
levothyroxine is fake T4. It's synthetic. It's made in a chemical factory. You can actually get real T4 in desiccated thyroid hormone replacement. It also has T3, T2, T1, and T0, none of which levothyroxine or Synthroid have. I highly recommend you find a doctor in your local area who prescribes desiccated thyroid.
Hey, Skipper.
Kevin says
I
that
saw
Beckett
it.
still needs a haircut. Now, Kevin.
He's just giving me crap. Hey, Igor, welcome back. This might be too gross of a question. Oh, boy.
Okay.
Sorry. I've been fasting only water for 2 weeks. Why do I still occasionally poop?
Yeah, because you think about it. From your lips all the way down to the other ends, it's lined with skin cells, right? Those skin cells die. The epithelial cells in your gut, they have a very high turnover rate. So the majority of your poop is probably dead cells. You also have billions of bacteria in your gut, right? And they have a very short lifespan. They're constantly reproducing and splitting, and then they die. That's a large percentage of your poop. Even if you're fasting, you're still going to have a tiny amount of poop. There are some toxins and waste stuff that your body has put into your colon, but the majority of it is dead epithelial cells and the dead bacteria from your gut microbiome.
Kelly says, does keto help with adrenal fatigue and high cortisol?
Yeah, 100%. First of all, what did that say? Does this help? Oh, okay. So make sure that you've had your symptoms really looked at by a good doctor, because a lot of people diagnose themselves with adrenal fatigue, or they're diagnosed by some sketchy doctor with adrenal fatigue, and then they sell you a bunch of supplements for you to support your adrenals. In my experience, that's almost always a bullshit diagnosis. You need to go back and be thoroughly evaluated with a full lab panel to make sure you don't have hypothyroidism, to make sure that you don't have low T or some other hormone imbalance, all of which can mimic the symptoms of adrenal fatigue.
Blessed to Overcome says, any suggestions for age-related macular degeneration? Asking for a friend's 95-year-old mother.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Been successful on keto because of you.
I actually have a YouTube video about macular degeneration. It's tightly linked with hyperinsulinemia. Now, at 95 years of age, I'm not sure how much improvement we can expect, but I mean, if the person is okay with converting to a ketogenic diet, if the 95-year-old says, yeah, if it'll help my vision, I'll damn sure do that, then 100% try it. But don't try to force it on them at 95. They've lived a long life and fought the good fight. If they just want to eat their cookies and donuts, they're 95. Just let them.
Kelly says, thanks to you both. I found a functional medicine doctor who actually listens. I thought it was Hashimoto's. I'm glad I'm not crazy.
Yep, there you go. That's
job.
what you got to do. Sometimes people have to go through 4 or 5 different doctors. Not to say that the previous doctors were bad or evil or mean. They just weren't a good fit for you. You got to find a doctor that speaks your language. And sometimes that takes several tries. So don't be shy about saying, you know, I might be back, but I'm going to shop around. Sandra, we've had multiple people reach out to us and say their tinnitus is much less severe. It usually doesn't go completely away, but it gets so much less severe that it doesn't even bother people anymore. So yeah, give it a shot.
Hey, Bobby. We met Bobby in Omaha.
Hey, Bobby.
Thanks for the super chat, Bobby. All right, let's see. Viva says, hi, how much do you eat on a carnivore diet? I don't eat anywhere near as much as NEISHA does.
Yeah, it's different for everybody. You need to eat until you are comfortably stuffed. You can eat 1 meal a day. You can eat 2 meals a day. You can even eat 3 meals a day if you eat the 3 meals within an 8-hour feasting window. But eat until you're comfortably stuffed. Do not portion control.
Yeah, just make sure you're getting enough protein.
Yep.
And good, healthy fats, too. Gemini says, I have bad sinus pain and headaches. I even had surgery in the past to help with the pain. Still no relief. I've been doing keto carnivore for 3 months. I've lost 25 pounds.
Excellent.
I still eat dairy.
Yeah.
The dairy could be.
I think your answer is in your question, Gemini. I'm sorry, but try 90-day dairy-free. Keep butter and ghee in your diet because they're nutritious, healthy fats, and they don't contribute to the inflammation. But it may be the dairy. Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Renee. Thank you so much.
$100 super chat. Thank you.
We've had several $100 super chats. Amazing. Sherry, I took your advice last week after literally losing from 100 down to 85 pounds in 3 days. Wow. How long should I do an elimination diet? Doctors are saying candy. Candy?
So you've lost 15 pounds in 3 days? Is that what she's saying? Because that's impossible.
losing from 100 down to 85 pounds in 3 days.
Yeah, that's physically impossible to do that unless you were holding 15 pounds of fluid and you.
She said after losing. She took your advice last week after losing 100 down to 85 pounds in 3 days. How long should she do an elimination diet?
Well,
I'm confused about your question, Sherry.
Sorry, Sherry. If you're doing an elimination diet for a specific symptom or diagnosis, then most people need to do 60 to 90 days to see if that elimination diet is going to affect their condition. I'm sorry, I couldn't be of more help. I can't understand where you're coming from. Sorry.
It's probably your cell phone messed you up, and that sucks. Happens to me. Hey, Charles, welcome back. For carnivore, is there anything we should be supplementing with, or can I get all my vitamins and minerals through meat and electrolytes? Blessings to you and your friends.
That's a great question. If you're eating liver twice a week, then the only thing you ever have to worry about is vitamin D3 if you live at a northern or very southern latitude and you don't get enough sun, and iodine. Okay, but if you watch my YouTube videos about vitamin D rich foods and iodine rich foods, and you go out of your way to include them twice a week, 3 times a week, along with liver twice a week, you don't need to take any supplements at all on a carnivore diet.
Craig says, I recently started intermittent fasting, doing 18-6 for the last couple of weeks. Done a few 23-hour fasts because of lack of hunger. I want to start a regular 5-day 18-6 and 2-day 23-hour week fast. I'm a type 2, so is this safe or is this too aggressive?
I think it's fine, especially if you have excess fat stored that you need to lose and your A1C is pretty high. Monitor your blood sugar very closely. If you're still taking diabetes medication, then you got to work with your doctor, because if you do that schedule, you'll come off all that medicine pretty darn quickly. But if you're already off all your medication, there's no danger. Just make sure you're getting your electrolytes and make sure that when you do eat, you eat until you're comfortably stuffed.
Wendy, what should I tell my doctor if my cholesterol numbers turn bad on carnivore? I just started carnivore a week and a half ago.
You're going to go to Twitter and look up Dr. David Diamond. He just posted his lecture that he did for our Proper Human Diet Summit. You're going to go watch that video, and then you're going to tell your doctor, look, doc, as long as my HDL is great and my triglycerides are great, I don't give a damn what my total cholesterol is. And I really don't care much what my LDL cholesterol is, because having a normal triglycerides and HDL, a normal A1C and a normal C-peptide, that is ultimate metabolic health. That's what you're going to tell your doctor.
Hey, Crystal, thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Duchess, what is the solution for low T in women who are in menopause?
Yeah, so some women can raise their testosterone back up to the normal range by eating a proper human diet and lifting heavy weights, doing vigorous, strenuous exercise. Some women have to do hormone optimization therapy with bioidentical hormones.
Kelly says, is there a reason I would lose half of my hair in less than a year? What can I do to regrow it?
There's multiple reasons for hair loss. I actually have a YouTube video about this going into detail and depth. Anytime you lose a lot of weight on any diet, you're going to have some hair loss, but it's temporary. Okay. So if your hair loss was related to losing a lot of weight, that's what caused it. Just keep eating lots of nutrient dense meat, and you're going to grow back the most beautiful head of hair you've had in a minute.
Trucking with Diabetes says, thanks for all you do. Thank you. I feel like truckers don't get enough love. Thank you to all the truckers watching.
Yes, thank you, truckers. We appreciate it.
You're a little underappreciated. I feel
100% underappreciated and underpaid. I know for 100% fact.
Yeah.
Gary has got a concern. I lost 70 pounds in 2 months on keto diet. Is it safe? And so Gary's bigger question is, can you lose weight too fast on a ketogenic or a carnivore diet? I think that's an excellent question that a lot of people have. My answer is no. Now, if you're using prescription medications to lose weight, if you're smoking crack to lose weight, if you're starving yourself to lose weight, then yeah, you can lose weight in an unhealthy fashion that goes too fast. But if you're eating a proper human diet full of fatty meat and veg on keto, or full of just fatty meat on carnivore, there's no way that your body's going to allow you to lose weight in an unhealthy fashion. That just doesn't make any sense. No, so I appreciate your question and your concern, but the answer is no. You're eating a proper human diet. Your body's trying to go back to your ideal body weight.
Thank you, Rosa. Any smoothie recipes with raw eggs to meet the protein needs?
Absolutely. Yeah, who's got good smoothie recipes that are keto friendly? Basically,
Probably Maria.
Yeah, I think Maria probably has some smoothie recipes, but you can put your favorite keto veg, a few blueberries, and you can put 6 raw eggs. Once you blend that up, you cannot taste the raw eggs at all. If the shell wasn't cracked, it's completely safe to eat raw eggs before somebody says, "Oh my God, you're going to kill yourself."
Yeah. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Steve. Cole, thank you very much. Jane, oh, okay, it went away. Let me find it over here. James says, I want to buy your book. The second edition is on Amazon, right?
That's right.
Yes.
The Lies My Doctor Told Me on Amazon right now is the most updated version of Lies My Doctor Told Me.
Wesley says, I got rid of candida on this way of eating, but I still have terrible leaky gut and H. pylori. Will this way of eating kill the H. pylori and heal leaky gut?
So the leaky gut's absolutely going to get better. The candida will never be able to come back eating a keto or a carnivore diet. What was the final thing?
Leaky gut.
The H. pylori.
H. pylori.
Actually, the H. pylori is strongly associated with the formation of gastric ulcers. No doubt about that. But it seems like when people are eating a proper human diet, they can still test positive for H. pylori, but they don't have any ulcers or any heartburn symptoms anymore. So it looks like what's going to finally come out to be the absolute total truth is that in order to develop gastric or duodenal ulcers, you got to have H. pylori and be eating a shitty standard American diet. It probably takes both of those to develop ulcers, because I've yet to hear somebody develop new ulcers on keto or carnivore. It just doesn't happen.
Steph says, prayers from Omaha. It was so great to meet you.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
Great
you,
to meet
Steph.
everyone there.
We had such a great time and met amazing people. If I didn't look like I was giving you enough attention, it's because I was making sure my toddler wasn't either trying to kill himself or turn over a table
or run off with a stranger.
Run off out the front door. So I promise you, I wish I had been able to talk more, but that's a 2-year-old. Well, he's not 2, but he's going to be 2 soon. That's a 2-year-old.
Yep. JNS Electronics says carnivore cured my gingivitis. I've got the research done for a YouTube video about gingivitis and oral health, but I haven't done it yet. But thousands of carnivores have said, I used to have severe perioral, severe gingivitis, bleeding gums, receding gums. They're calm now. They calmed down. They went back to just normal gums. And it's because you removed all the slow poisons out of your diet. That's what you did.
Oh my God, Dawn.
Thanks, Dawn. Dawn just gave us a $500 super chat. Okay. You said you'd match it.
I will.
You're going to match it.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to match it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, honestly.
Thank you again so much. Every cent that we made in super chats tonight will be going directly to Humphreys County, where they will use it for supplies to feed the volunteers that are over there helping clean up, all of that stuff. And for every dollar, we will match it. And we will make a post on, because I can't wait to see how much money we're going to be able to donate to.
I'm excited. You guys are going to help a lot of people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. There are several people gave $100 donations. Dawn gave $500. Some of you gave $1.05. Any of that. Doesn't matter how much you gave. Everything matters to these people. Obviously, money can't bring back a lot of stuff that was lost, but it can help ease the burden, which is heavy right now. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much from the bottom of our heart. And I know our friends who were injured in this flood would say thank you if they could right now, but they're busy recovering. Thanks so much to our patrons who are part of this journey with us and are helping us change the world and understand that chronic medical illness comes from eating an improper human diet. And you actually have the power to reverse that yourself.
For those of you who just can't get enough of us, you can join us on patreon.com/KendyBerryMD in our private community where we do lives every week. It's a smaller crowd, so there's not as many comments, not as much noise.
You can actually get your question answered.
Yeah, for certain, there's different things you get for certain levels. There's a Zoom call for a certain level, all that good stuff. So, but we will be back here again next Monday night, just like this, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for ordering my book, James. We will be back with you next week. How many lives do we do a week on Patreon? 3 a week,
right? Now we're
right?
doing 2, but we're going to,
and then a Zoom live. So 3 a week. So if you've got lots of questions or you need a little more time to ask your question than just a drive-by Facebook or YouTube question, patreon.com. There's a link in the show notes. Thank you so much, guys, for your generosity and for hanging out with us.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.